Hello, everybody. Welcome to week three. We've made it through our first week one and week two, and I first want to just let everybody know what a fantastic effort everybody's putting in. I appreciate all the conversation in the discussion forums, and this is a very lively class. So that means that it's going to go deep and it's going to be very meaningful. So I appreciate that, and it's kind of fitting because we're in those discussion forums. We're going to be talking about or well, this week we're going to be talking about social learning, and we do quite a bit of that in our discussion forums as well. So it's time for us to do our meet, learn, and share. Now this week, instead of Tuesday, we're going to move it to a Wednesday. I wasn't able to make Tuesday, so I apologize for that. So uh, we're going to have the meet, learn, and share on Tuesday. It's going to be at a slightly different time, but there's a big surprise that I want to reveal at the end of this. So just bear with me. I'll give you all the details in a moment. So first, let's talk about social learning. What is it? Is social learning a collective knowledge? Well, it's some people may call it that. It's definitely a sharing of knowledge because we all have parts and pieces from our different perspective and our different experiences in life, and sharing those different parts is a huge piece of social learning, and how society also pitches into that. That's when we start getting in a little bit into the psychology of there was a psychologist Vygotsky from Russia who you may have seen in schools where they have zone of proximal development or scaffolding. His theories, you see it in our schools quite a bit now, and that's where the zone of proximal development and scaffolding and things like that come from. So it's where peer teaching, things like that. He was big into social learning. So you may hear that name bantered about here and there. So is it collective knowledge? Well, in a way, absolutely. It's what we can do as a society, or when we specifically talk about social learning, there's a few things we want to do. We see it at work all the time. Oftentimes it's informal. I know as a mechanic, quite often we had social learning because we had to learn how to do small parts and pieces of things that weren't necessarily part of a formal training program or anything like that. So we had to learn from each other. So it was learning from each other as we move forward with that. So especially in manufacturing areas, even though we try to be very formal with all of our training, social learning is there, and oftentimes it's seen as informal. Some people we used to call it knowledge transfer. There's some other names for it now, but it was all social learning. And I actually did a study with micro learning and social learning, combining them. And when we can combine it and make it more of a formalized process, not the actual learning piece itself, but the topics for the social learning, it can be very powerful in changing behavior. We found that, especially in ethical leadership, where I did the study, was when we poured in the social learning and had the leaders actually going out and engaging their team with things like, okay, what is ethical leadership? What does this look like? What does that look like to you? And we did it on some social media platforms. It was very powerful because they were able to gain that insight from their team. So social learning is powerful. Some people kind of discount it, and that's okay. But just know it gives you great opportunity for both manufacturing and different behaviors and things like that. So just keep a lookout on the discussion board. We're going to have some good times with this. And then your project, remember, we've gone over storyboarding, things like that last week. Um, the most important thing is to start with the experience and work backwards. I really like that little Steve Jobs video at the beginning of our class. Start with the experience. It's all about the experience, because no matter what tool you have, we've all seen it. We have this great tool and it just looks like a basic PowerPoint presentation. So remember, it's the experience, the experience, the experience, and that trumps the tool every time. So if you're looking for tools, although cost will factor in, what you want to think about is, does a tool fit my need? I don't want to back into it and fit my need to the tool. There was a case here in Los Angeles where where they kind of did that with iPads. They kind of backed into it with tools rather than looking at the learning, and it was a tragedy, travesty of everything. So make sure the tool fits your needs. So try the 30-day trials out, see how they work for you, see what works best, and see what is better for building that experience that you're looking for. So always aim to build that experience. Now, here's the good news. Probably heard me talking long enough now. We on Wednesday, so this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to have a presentation from an Articulate demo. Can I get a drum roll? Anybody want to do a drum roll? From our very own Tracy Tabergdi. So thank you, Tracy, for volunteering to do that. She's very adept with Articulate. So she's going to give an overview of it on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We're going to shoot for 45 minutes. I'm going to just chat for the first 5 to 10 minutes to get everything going. And then Tracy's going to take it over. And what a better time to do this than when we're reading and learning about social learning. So I wanted to thank Tracy for jumping in and taking this opportunity, or giving all of us this opportunity. So I'm going to put this on an announcement, and the same way to get to it is to click the office, and we'll see you on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and hopefully it'll record for those who can't make it but would like to see it. So let's have another fantastic week, and thanks for all the effort.